Hello again. So how did this next question come about then? Well, once again, it was the result of a message exchange on LinkedIn following a connection request from a Mandy Oliver, who works as a change management lead for a public sector organisation in London. I, as usual, followed up by asking her why she wanted to be connected with me in the first place. She replied that having read some of my posts, she was interested to understand more about the work I was doing. Okay, cue my suggestion for an online chat, as I always do, which we had quite a while back now, actually. I think I put something on YouTube, on LinkedIn about it. Mandy's purpose was related to her interest in enterprise change management, as she was building capability where she worked and wondered if I actually had any insights on the subject. As I said, I did upload a post onto LinkedIn about our chat, and she also asked me during the chat the following question for this channel. Do you have any insights around building enterprise-wide change management capabilities and competencies in organisations? Just a quick definition before I go on. Actually, I'll give you two. Okay, from ProSci. I had to use ProSci, didn't I? Enterprise change management is the systematic deployment of change management skills, tools and processes throughout an organisation. The goals of ECM are to improve the utilisation of human capital. I hate that phrase, human capital. Ensure all projects deliver people-dependent ROI. Mitigate change saturation and its detrimental effects. Okay, fair enough. And from Webopedia, ECM is the process, the tools and the techniques required by an organisation to manage the people side of change in the enterprise in order to achieve an expected outcome. To properly implement change management, the key is simplifying, I like that word, you know how simple I am, the processes down to the core needs of the organisation. Sound familiar, those two? They're kind of the same, aren't they? Okay, there's a saying here in Thailand called same, but different. Well, yes, they are same, but slightly different. Okay, right on to the question. Interestingly, I had a comment exchange with Ket Patel about enterprise change management at about kind of the same time as I had the exchange with Mandy. In answer to his comment, just for a moment, imagine if everyone in an organisation understood the core of what change management a change manager knows. Yes, what would that organisation be able to do? As lofty as a goal that might be, it's not impossible. My answer to Ket, well, isn't that all about implementing enterprise change management? But the problem with that, I said, is the power brokers who don't even want to cough up any budget for a single change manager, let alone get everyone in the organisation on the same page. Of course, he replied, as he does. Maybe, but I'm not convinced the way ECM is happening today. It's all top-down tools and processes. Nothing about individual ability to respond and adapt to change. Then he went on to say, if you look at ProSci's recent surveys, okay, change management offices and by proxy ECM moved from 36% to 40% of organisations having one in 10 years. 10% increase in 10 years. Not so sure about the maths, but I bow to Ket's greater ability in the subject of maths. But then compare that to the volume of information generated on navigating organisational change. Something isn't actually working. Then take a look at what CMOs do, change management officers, process, advising and governance, all very functional. No time or investment in individuals to cope better with change. So, despite having a persistent function, it still acts in an ad hoc way around when a project starts. I added, of course, I had a great conversation with, as I mentioned, Mandy Oliver, who is a change management lead for a public sector organisation in London, about ECM the other day as part of my Zoom-in sessions, and she is doing exactly the kind of thing you, Ket, are speaking about. Okay? Anyway, I digress somewhat. So, while I was doing some of my usual research, I came across this interesting take on implementing enterprise change management from an organisation called Guide Speak. To manage a successful enterprise change, the company requires sufficient time, budget and resources like human capital. There goes that phrase again. If a company lacks resources to support the change or budgets to fund the change undergoing, an enterprise change can result in lost profits, high employee turnover and failed projects. They say there are 5 things basically that should be done. Number 1, establish a common language. And I always bang on about common language. Sometimes we make things very complicated for ourselves as change managers, to be honest. Anyway, a successful change requires the development of a common language that all team members, levels and departments of the enterprise can understand and use, because enterprise change management occurs on a large scale instead of a project by project basis. Establishing a common language and common tools that make sense to everybody will reduce the chances of decreased productivity, employee resistance and resulting customer satisfaction. Number 2, create a roadmap that enforces accountability. Each team member absolutely plays a critical role in furthering some aspect of the change initiative. The management team will collaborate to determine timelines, milestones and available budgets that apply to all team members in the enterprise. The team will also identify the overall scalability of the change and work to secure buy-in from team members and key stakeholders. Project managers will establish measurements of accountability to ensure that no objectives or deadlines are missed. They'll still finish at the go live stage and not work after go live. Sorry about that. Develop change management leadership skills. Strong leadership amongst the project team is essential for implementing an effective enterprise change and ensuring that progress and deliverables are on time and on budget. Change leaders must be competent and knowledgeable with proficient management skills that enable them to engage with team members of all levels and departments. Number 4, foster direct, productive and open communication. To cultivate effective internal communication throughout an enterprise change, communications need to be clear, okay? They need to be direct and they need to be productive. The management team and senior leaders must encourage team members to report honest feedback and evaluations during the process. Senior leaders are often detached from the customer service side of the business operations. Open communication channels, okay, between leaders and team members of every department enables process gaps to be identified and filled in a timely manner. And finally, number 5, never stop evaluating processes of performance and, productivity. Okay, for companies to continue improving the consumer experience and the efficiency of business processes, regular evaluation assessment must be conducted through each project lifecycle. Leaders of successful companies prioritize evaluations and assessments of processes, performance and productivity levels. Gauging the company's progress by persistent evaluation of performance data and analytics enables the company to progress its degree of change management maturity. Then there's another piece from an organisation called Mariner. Paul Mariner, he was a footballer, wasn't he? I think so. Played for Ipswich or something like that. Can't remember. Anyway, implementing enterprise change management means adopting the principles, the standards and best practices of change management and applying those to regular daily operations. Doing more change management on projects does not achieve the status or benefits of enterprise change management. It must become a capability through all roles and become a new and natural way of working and be ingrained into the company culture. The greatest benefits and efficiencies will be gained when ECM is integrated into key processes and functions and becomes a key factor in business strategy and operational planning. Once ECM is fully integrated within the organisation, other more formal methodologies such as project management, business analysis, process improvement are prioritising the change management elements related to their roles within their timelines and their activities. They are leveraging change managers on projects to enhance their success when areas of risk have identified the need for additional support. Other key areas within the organisation, such as human resources, communications and training, are also aligned, okay? And they will support the overall enterprise change approach adopted by the organisation. Why enterprise change management though? Why indeed? Change is managed more effectively and efficiently and avoids the costs, delays, duplication and rework. Faster speed of adoption, utilisation and a greater level of proficiency drive higher return on investment. Excuse me, I've got an itchy moustache. Employees are empowered and tooled up to transition to new ways of work while maintaining and building overall morale and culture. ECM builds individual and organisation resiliency and capacity to handle frequent change. Through increased agility and resilience, financial and strategic performance will improve through more successful change implementations and the achievement of business benefits. Still got an itch. Organisations will gain competencies, internal competencies to support significant change with fewer external resources required. So the upshot is, just bear with me, the upshot is I've lost track. But let's see if I can get back on track, shall we? I've said that. I've said through increased agility and resilience. Yes, I've said organisations gain internal competencies. Yes, and I think I was just about to say, oh yes, that's right. Now I know where I am. I do apologise for that slight digression. So you can tell this is live, can't you? So the upshot is that implementing and practicing effective enterprise change management falls in the hands of every team member. Enterprise change management practices, unlike granular organizational changes, institute standard operating procedures that guide the change management process with widespread, consistent application. Get it? That's it. Over and out. Thank you very much. Speak again soon.